Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Hey there, Georgie girl. I don't know the song, but I'm singing it anyway. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel where, sometimes I go into random song for no reason whatsoever. Is the audio low for some reason? I don't know what's going on here. Let me try something. Is it just the audio for the... Well, first I should probably ask if anyone else has that problem. I don't know. Maybe it's just you. Could be. Who knows? Who knows? There's something to any day. I don't know right away. Soon as it shows. Anyway, hi. It's what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. And we got some stuff going on. And we'll talk about it. That's kind of what we do here. It's the theme of the show. So that's it. That's the pre-show intro. Let's say hi to everybody and get it going because I got a few articles open and stuff to talk about. I do want to talk about this nonsense, though, especially the Electoral college thing. It just pisses me off because it's a power grab. They're hoping to have a power grab for big states to have a power grab. The East Coast, the West Coast, and the Democrats just want a power grab. They want power, and that's all they give a frig about. And there's a reason we have the Electoral College, and I think we need to stick the damn well to it because if you don't stick to it, then it's just, if you don't have it, the government's going to grow too much. I'll explain it later. Let's get to say hi to everybody. First in the chat today is Mr. Avocados Diablo. Who gets the bell? Things are finally righting again in the state of Denmark, and I just choked on my coffee because, I was so excited to have AD back in the top spot. Yes! Also, good morning, JB. You were this close. Can you see that? This close? You were that close, JB. You really were. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning, Tyre Alexander. The Scourge. How you doing, brother? Also, good morning. Who else? Sound Double Nation. Good morning. Renee Mayette's here early. Holy moly. Also, hello to Mike Savage, Blarg, Vader35. Welcome back. Who else is here? I'm scrolling. Is there anybody else here? Is that it? Oh, no. Attack Pack is here. I did it again. Hang on a second. By the way, today's coffee is brought to you by Johnny Cash in the wonderful Johnny Cash guitar handle mug, whatever that's called. Good morning. Amazing Disgrace is in the house. And who else? Lord Stanhope's here. What's up? Good morning. Who else? Is that it? Come on now. There's got to be Johnny Boomertech, of course. Yeah, By the way, if you want to sponsor the show, I'm going to change that. Have you shared the stream yet? I don't even know. I'm floundering a little bit here. Let me move that over. I have some breaking news from Avocados Diablo too that just makes me laugh hilariously. Good morning, Robert Banks. I see you, brother. And Jethro Hetero's here. Nice to have you back. Green Badger Outdoors. Sure You Gospel. What's up? Shrapnel's in the house. My favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies here. And that's probably about everybody. Close. Oh, Rodline, what up? Nice to see you, Rodline. Oh, hell no. Hell no, get rid of the Electoral College. I'm not sure if you are saying to get rid of it or not to get rid of it. Hello, Molly Mags. You're here too. So, nice, healthy crowd today. Let's see. How many of you are here? Looks like there are so far 23 here and 6 likes. Fix that, damn it. Hit the damn like button while you're thinking about it or while I reminded you. And that's it. Let's get into the show. Let me close a couple tabs here. Make sure I did this right. By the way, let's see who's has already shared the stream. That's always a good thing to see. We'll open up the notifications here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Sound Numble Nation, of course, has shared the stream on his own, and I appreciate it. And then we got a big old let's go from Woo I always laugh when I see that GIF, whatever you want to call it, because Rick, the world famous Ric Flair with a giant "Let's go, woo!" Also, thank you, Ty Alexander. Let's get it out. All right, cool. And thank you, by the way. Oh wait, who's this? Reaccion Puerto Rico. If you're in the chat, I don't see you yet, but I see you gave me a let's go. Thank you to all the people who shared the stream. Share your gospel, Reaccion Puerto Rico, Scribe Light, Dog Thrapple, and Tyre Alexander, and Soundable Nation and Banks. Appreciate every single one of you for sharing the stream. That is awesome. Love to see it. Every little bit helps. All right, let's get into the news of the day. Now, I don't have a whole lot of I didn't have the fluff stuff today. I don't have the birthdays or the special day today. If you have one, drop it in the chat. I'll figure it out. But this story, thank you, Avocados Daily, because I did not hear this story yet. So we showed you that video of the so-called Syrian prisoner who was discovered by CNN. He was the last prisoner left in the prison. Had been there 4 days without food and water. The CNN journalist. Actress, was seeing and helping him come out, and oh my gosh, he sees light and he can eat food and he's drinking water. He hasn't had water for 4 days, which you'd be dead if you didn't, probably. What the hell's going on here? Why is my chair scooting over the wrong way? It's like has a mind of its own. Anyway, so yeah, that video that looks so fake of the freed Syrian prisoner. Well, there's an update to that, and maybe not for sure, but it's on Yahoo News, so it's got to be real. Today is the day after yesterday. Yes, it is, Lord Stanhope. Thank you. I needed a special day, and that's extra special. So the Syrian prisoner freed by CNN's Clarissa Ward may have been an intelligence officer in hiding. CNN may have been duped by a so-called hidden prisoner from a Syrian jail that one news agency claims is actually a first lieutenant in the Syrian Air Force intelligence. During a segment, CNN's Clarissa Ward and a rebel fighter uncovered a prisoner who appeared to be still unaware of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad's ouster. CNN has since said the network is investigating the man's background further. Oh, gee, probably should have done that a little earlier or something. Good morning, Maddie. How you doing? And also roasted opinions. Well done. Actually, medium rare. So anyway, and the Clarissa Ward had tweeted, in my nearly 20 years as a journalist, this was one of the most extraordinary moments I have witnessed. You mean staged? It looks so unreal. Now, and then, my God, let there be light. So readers added, Verify Psy, a Syrian fact-checking group, now says that this man is Air Force Intelligence First Lieutenant Salama Mohammed Salama, notorious for extortion and theft in homes, who had been arrested due to disputes with his colleague for profit sharing. So, which I don't know what that means. It just, he was posing as a prisoner. The organization tweeted, seemed to be trying to rehabilitate his image. CNN captured the moment Ward found the man, who was cloaked in a blanket in a locked cell of an emptied prison. We are looking to do a story about the tens of thousands of Syrians who have vanished into Assad's dungeons, and particularly also about one American journalist, Austin Tice, who was disappeared, Ward later reported on CNN. Ward was shown entering the cell after a guard shot off the lock. Is there someone there? Ward asked multiple times. Like, it was so poorly acted out, too. Is there someone there? Ward asked multiple times. The man emerged from beneath the cover with his hands raised. And it's funny because when they're doing this, she's speaking in English. And he was like, he didn't understand English, but he was responding to her as if they were talking in real time, but you didn't hear any interpreters talking. It was just the weirdest fake looking thing I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, a CNN translation said the man claimed he had been there in the cell for 3 months. You're okay, Ward tells him, assisting him out of the open. You saw the video. It's embarrassing. It looks so real. In fact, one of the top comments on that was this one from Ian Miles Chong. Clean clothes, perfectly groomed, and perfectly manicured nails, looking for a prisoner who was supposedly confined and starved in a prison cell for months by Assad, who didn't know that the regime had fallen and that the prison had been emptied. CNN never fails to deliver. Yeah, it was just stupid. So anyway, they're going to investigate who it is that they had their little show and tell with. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Avocados Diaboli, for dropping that news. That's some breaking news. Now, let's move on to the really important things that Congress have been doing this week. And I got to tell you, my senator from my lovely state of Minnesota, the Great White North, the land of 10,000 lakes, which is actually 15,654 lakes of a square mile or more in diameter. Anyway, Amy Klobuchar, there's all kinds of things going on. Especially things that Democrats complain about, income inequality and homeless and blah, blah, blah. Well, she introduced a bill in the Senate and it passed the Congress, and I guess the president's going to sign it, making the bald eagle official America's bird after 242 years. Now, I did not know that the bald eagle wasn't already the America's official bird, but the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill to officially designate the bald eagle as the national bird of the United States. It's a role it has symbolically held since 1782, when it was placed on the Great Seal. This bipartisan legislation, led by my senator, Minnesota's Amy Klobuchar, perhaps the biggest goofballs in the Senate, is now awaiting the president's signature. The move has sparked discussion about the necessity of formalizing a symbol long recognized informally, with many expressing surprise or questioning the need for such legislation, including this guy. So anyway, here it is. She's so proud of this too. My bipartisan legislation to recognize the bald eagle as our national bird just passed Congress and now is headed to the president's desk to be signed into law. Woo-hoo. Now, the backstory about this effort to make the bald eagle the official bird of the United States of America is kind of a cool story, but it seems so unimportant. You know what I mean? There's a guy in Wabasha, Minnesota. Wabasha, Minnesota, down on the Mississippi River, but it's also called Lake Pepin. This giant lake. The river goes into it and out of it. In Wabasha, Minnesota, is the National Eagle Center. Now, we see bald eagles all the time in Minnesota, but especially in the fall along the Minnesota River and the Mississippi River, because they migrate following those rivers to Wabasha, Minnesota, because that part of the river never freezes. It never freezes. Okay, and it gets cold in here, and that's one of the first places where it doesn't freeze. So in the winter, normally eagles are kind of territorial. They're kind of like a little bit like loons, where they'll have this kind of area that they have, and you won't see a bunch of different eagles in one place, except in the winter when they migrate. A lot of them migrate and hang out down in Wabasha, Minnesota. So if you're anywhere near Minnesota and you go to Wabasha in the winter, it's an eagle watching, eagle watching heaven. There's tons of them down there. And so there's a guy who runs the National Eagle Center who made this big effort. I don't know if I can find it here. Let's see. Do you know what the official national bird of America is? You'd be wrong. Interesting. The bald eagle has been a major national symbol since the Second Continental Congress in 1782, put it on the Great Seal of the United States, but it's never been specifically designated as a national bird under U.S. law, but we are one step away. Okay, so anyway, that's Tom. I don't even think that's the real Tom Homan. That's not the real Tom Homan, is it? That's not the real. Anyway, there's a guy down at Wabasha, Minnesota, that has been pushing for this for for several years. And so Amy Klobuchar did introduce the bill in the Senate, and it passed the House, and she's super duper excited about this bill passing, and hopefully the president will sign it. I mean, yippee. But bald eagles are really cool to watch. In fact, oh man, the last time Lady Boomer and I did our little vacation thing a few weekends ago, we were in, where were we? We were in Hudson and there's a town across from. Anyway, we're driving along a 2-lane highway. I think I already told the story once. And there's this farm here, right? And there's a bald eagle on the ground eating its prey, and it's a small deer. And I'm like, we're thinking, dude, can an eagle? Because it's eating this deer, and then there's another one, right? That's flying around, and we're just like, it's just there, right? Like, and it was like about less than 100 yards away from us. So we just stopped our car and we're watching it. And then it started looking at us like, why are you stopping? I'm not doing shit until you leave. And it just kept staring at us. We're just looking at it and staring at us. We're looking at it. But apparently eagles can take down small deer and kill them. I've never thought that that'd be the truth. And in fact, they can, their wings are so strong that they could probably carry a small deer in the air if they, whatever. Because I was watching this, one of those nature videos. And, yeah, golden eagles toss mountain goats off of cliffs. Yeah, that's the video I saw. It was a video of this golden eagle hunting a mountain goat, and it swoops down, it grabs the mountain goat by the neck, flies up about 100 feet, and then just drops it. I was like, what the hell? I think I probably weigh as, well, I don't know if any mountain goats weigh as much as I do. Maybe, I don't know. I was like, damn, I had no idea they could do that. Good morning, by the way, Shrapnel K-Show, my other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, and somebody else. Anyone else? I saw a bunch of names pop up. So yeah, this was wild. We saw this eagle eating its kill right there in the ground in the middle of a farm front yard. We're just like, I'm sure the farmer's like looking out there going, there's an eagle that killed a deer. I was just making sure it wasn't a small calf or something. Anyway. All right. And so there you go. Eagle is now going to, if Biden signs the legislation now, maybe Biden will veto the legislation. I don't know. Who knows? Biden's not all there. Anyway. All right. So there you go. Let's see. There's a couple other thank yous here. Thank you, Green Badger Outdoors and Sure You Gospel, for tweeting out the show. And also Maddie. I appreciate it. In fact, I'm going to retweet these people right here, and retweet the Let's Go, and I'm going to retweet this Let's Go, and I'm going to retweet this Let's Go, and I'm going to retweet Sound Noble Nation. So there you go. My retweeting is complete. All right, moving on. Finally, I'm sure you're tired of the eagle stuff. Ireland is still trending. Ireland is still trending basically because of the issue with the Israel closing down its embassy in Ireland. And apparently, I guess there's an issue with migrants in Ireland too. Maybe Mike, you could probably confirm that. But so here it is. Israel closes Dublin embassy, cites Ireland's extreme anti-Israel policies. Israel declared Sunday that it's closing its Dublin embassy in response to what it's called the extreme anti-Israel policies of the Irish government. The announcement came after Ireland said it would support the legal intervention in South Africa's action at the International Court of Justice that accuses Ireland of committing genocide against the Palestinians in Gaza. According to the New York Times, the embassy closure does not mean that Israel is cutting off diplomatic relations with Ireland, which will continue to operate an embassy in Tel Aviv, but it does suggest that Israel is not prepared to mutely accept criticism from some Western countries who have clearly rejected Israel's ongoing actions fighting terrorism in Gaza. So that's a little tiff going on between those two countries. yeah, Ireland has its own problems. Real quick, thank you, Gunfox61, our first sponsor of the day, which makes you the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, AD, or no, just AD, Gunfox, our fantastic administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server, who says, working, but enough time to drop this. So he dropped an article. Let's just do this right now. He's hijacking the show, ladies and gentlemen. Gunfox61 is hijacking the show. We'll drop this article into the links today, and we'll check it out right now. Thank you, Gunfox. Here we go. Let's see. Satellite photos. So Chinese nuclear submarines open missile hatches. Oh boy. Let's see. China quietly launches most advanced submarine. This is a 1-minute video. Let's see the video here. This is a Newsweek video. China's recently launched what could be its most advanced diesel electric submarine, according to a report, as it continues to expand its fleet. Naval News broke a story on August 21st, but no official announcements were made by the country's defense ministry or navy. The report said the submarine could be a new variant of the type whatever, also known as the Yuan class under NATO technology. There are 48 diesel-electric powered submarines in the Chinese Navy service. Almost half of them belong to the 3,600-ton class, according to the report released in 2023 by the U.S. Department of Defense. The current variant, the type 39C, has a sail with its stealthy design. A new submarine was launched quietly in April at the Wunchang shipyard. I shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. Was that racist? No, that's how it's pronounced. Wunchang. It was spotted by former U.S. Navy submariner and defense analyst Tom Shugart, who said in July that the submarine might have an X-shaped stern, and not seen that before in a Chinese submarine. So, God, this is very. They put the words on here too fast. Too fast. I mean, Hi Sutton, maritime security analyst who writes for the Naval News, noted the forward section of the new submarine was similar to the existing variant of the Yuan class. Okay, so anyway, satellite imagery spotted a Chinese submarine with its nuclear ballistic missile hatches open while pierside at a naval base with underground facilities facing the contested South China Sea. According to the latest satellite image updated by Google Earth Pro, a high-powered desktop software version of Google Earth. So they found this on Google Earth? Are you kidding me? Okay. A submarine was seen docking at one of the wharves in Longpo Naval Base on the island of Hainan, in southern China, with at least 4 of its missile hatches not closed. User blah, 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 an open source intelligence analyst active on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, identified the submarine as one of 6 Chinese type 094 nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines. Each of these submarines is capable of carrying up to 12 long-range missiles for nuclear strikes. So, yeah, and is that it right there? It says the hatches were open. I'm just laughing that they found it on Google Earth. That's kind of funny, actually. Which means there's people out there scouring Google Earth every time they update their imagery. Have you ever tried to find your place where you live on Google Earth? I had to laugh because now I haven't looked at it in a while, but the last time I found my home on Google Earth, it was a very old photo because it was a car that we haven't driven for 10 years in the driveway. And I'm like, wow, when was the last time they updated that shit? So anyway, there you go. Thank you, Gunfox61. That is, I guess they're upping their submarine fleet. I don't know. That's probably not a good thing, is it? I don't know. Anyway, China will be, oh, by the way, why isn't that working?
China is
asshole.
asshole.
There we go. China is asshole. So there you go. My honorable mention in the favorite Canadian race, Special Can Acids in the house. Nice to see you. Okay, let's move on. We did the bald eagle. By the way, there's another. Congress clarifies. Bald eagle, the U.S. House of Representatives. Okay, I already did that. I had 2 of these open. Where's the other one? Are these the same? Yeah. So anyway. I do. Now, it's funny because when I saw that story too, I had the same reaction as this person. Has the bald eagle not been recognized as our national bird before? Since when? What fucking timeline is this? And that's what I was thinking. I was like, I mean, did it have to be official? Did you have to spend money on Congress to do that? All right, let's move on. Oh, by the way, this is interesting, and this is at, I believe, George Mason University. Because I was talking about Israel a second ago, and this is fascinating. So apparently, what is it? Students for Justice in Palestine. A student for Justice in Palestine leader was caught with a "Death to Jews" sign and Hamas flags. Pushed the school to condemn Israel. Previously unreleased footage obtained by the Daily Wire shows Jenna Chana slamming George Mason University's neutrality. Okay, neutrality. Speak, enunciate, and all that shit. What is this? Google Earth? What? Google Earth routinely gives away positions of U.S. Navy carrier groups. Yeah, I'm sure every military organization in the world probably uses Google Earth to monitor their enemies. It's kind of wild that they have that technology. Good morning, Trippy Liberty. What's up, my brother? Nice to see you. And John Arnott's in the house. Nice to have you here. All right, George Mason student found in possession of weapons, "Death to Jews" signs, and terrorist flags, previously urged the university to condemn Israel for waging genocide in Gaza. Previously unreleased footage obtained by the Daily Wire shows Jen Chana, a graduate student who led George Mason's now suspended Students for Justice in Palestine chapter at the school last year, slammed the school for its neutrality at an April Board of Visitors meeting. Our students are facing great losses every single day, forced to live through this nightmare and forced to live with the knowledge that their own university is not doing anything to position themselves against the genocide that is actively causing this tragedy. By the way, you know how I was saying that never trust the numbers coming out of the Middle East by anybody? Well, apparently, some of these numbers that the Palestinians would give us, and I'm not saying either, I don't know I can't tell you who's telling the truth ever, right? But some of the numbers coming out of the Palestinian numbers of the deceased, apparently they've been including people who have been dying from natural causes and just whatever other reason people die, and in their numbers, and then also not always considering that the people who are fighting and dying are the ones who are the Israelis are targeting. If you don't, I don't know if you can even understand what I just fucking said, but you get the drift. Like let's just say they've been enhancing the numbers a bit, which is not a shocker. So anyway, I'm curious when she says our students are facing great losses every single day, forced to live through this nightmare and forced to live with the knowledge that their own university is not. What do you mean? You're living with this you're not in Gaza. Where is George Mason University? Siri, where is George Mason University? No. Siri, what city is George Mason University? In Fairfax, Virginia. So basically outside of DC. What? Yeah, that's my question, Avocados Diabli. What losses? She went on to demand that the school endorse a ceasefire and acknowledge the genocide. As someone who has personally been involved in this campus-wide movement. Oh my goodness. You didn't even leave the campus for this movement? It has been extremely disappointing to see the university position itself on the side of neutrality, Shana said. I implore you to place George Mason on the correct side of history. Well, I don't know if that's true either. Do your part to support all students and community members affected by this genocide and call for a ceasefire now. What students? Are there students from Gaza at George Mason University? I'm confused. What is she talking about? Jenner and her sister, Noor Chana, who is the current co-leader of the SJG chapter, are suspected of being part of a group that defaced George Mason Student Center in August, the Washington Free Beacon reported. After being granted a warrant to search Chana family home, police discovered Hamas and Hezbollah flags, anti-American and anti-Semitic signs, and firearms and ammunition belonging to Chana's brother, Mohammed. Mohammed's weapons were seized under Virginia's red flag law due to him being linked to destruction of property in connection with a large group of people with like-minded rhetoric and being a danger to others due to his possession of terroristic materials. Mohammed, who reportedly recently graduated from George Mason, later had his weapons returned by a Fairfax County Circuit Court judge, according to documents show. As punishment for their activity, the sisters have been barred from campus for 4 years, according to The Intercept. Okay, so, but yeah, they had signs that said "Death to Jews." Okay, well, I guess that's not just Israel, is it? Now that's just that because that's a much wider target. I'm just curious. All right, let me move on. Let's see. Derek Chauvin's in the news. Apparently, Derek Chauvin has been granted a heart tissue test in the Floyd appeal. Judges granted permission for Derek Chauvin's legal team to test heart tissue samples from George Floyd as part of an appeal against his federal conviction for Floyd's death. The decision comes after claims by Chauvin that Floyd might have died due to a heart condition rather than asphyxiation from Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck. Shoulder. The test aims to explore alternative causes of death despite widespread video evidence showing the restraint method used by Chauvin. Well, if you look at the video closely, it's up for questions a little bit. Although as I've always said, Chauvin is absolutely guilty of lack of situational awareness, and probably had he noticed the guy was dying under him, a little sooner, he might have been able to revive him, but he might not, because he might have died from the freaking fentanyl. But it would have, been better. So anyway, he's been granted permission to examine heart tissue and fluid samples taken from George Floyd's body. So they'll examine that and see. I feel for Chauvin in the fact that he's just completely fucked. he's fucked. They're not good. He's too much of a flashpoint for them to do anything, especially the Minnesota charges. Now the federal charges, who knows? But the Minnesota charges, we have a judicial infrastructure in this state that's just says fuck you to Derek Chauvin. So that's unfortunate for him. Robbie Telford, how you doing? Tedford, I keep saying well, you know what I'm trying to say. Trump is going to put his foot down on these colleges' anti-American crap. Well, I'm not against that. I think so. All right. Moving on. Speaking of Donald Trump, Judge Merchan in that the 34th felony case. Judge Merchan refused to toss Trump hush money conviction based on presidential immunity. Everyone says the presidential immunity part. I don't know if he's talked about the whole thing. Judge Juan Merchan ruled on Monday that President-elect Donald Trump's felony conviction in his hush money trial should not be dismissed based on the recent Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Now, the parts of this case that would affect, they had a couple witnesses that were specifically from his presidential duties, and that should have been a no-no. And then and a testimony about that should have all been stricken. And if that was the only problem with this case, I'd be like, well, not a big deal. But there's multiple problems with this case. First of all, the roundabout way that they turned these misdemeanor, supposedly alleged misdemeanor. We're not even sure that they're really misdemeanors, but these alleged misdemeanors into felonies by supposedly tying them to another crime. But yet then in the trial, the judge said the jury didn't have to agree on the specific crime, which there is case law in the state of New York that says the jury has to agree on the underlying crime, but the judge told them they didn't have to. So that's appealable. There's all kinds of appealable rulings in this case too. But in this case, Trump's lawyers had sought a dismissal of his May conviction in the New York business records case due to the Supreme Court's decision in Trump versus the United States, holding that presidents are protected by broad immunity for official acts performed while in office. Merchan did not, however, rule on whether the conviction should be dismissed due to Trump being elected president last month. In his 41-page decision, Merchan wrote that the Supreme Court decision did not extend to the felony conviction in New York because the underlying conduct charged by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg was for events that occurred before Trump became president. Now, the problem is the judge gave the jury instructions that he didn't have to agree on that. Whatever. So they could choose from 3 or 4 different things and say, oh, well, this one, sure, this one, that one. Okay, as long as you all agreed that it was related to an underlying crime, then this is going to continue. So anyway, and Merchan concluded that the evidence introduced from Trump's presidency was not immunized because they were not official acts. Quote, this court concludes that if error occurred regarding the introduction of the challenged evidence, such error was harmless in light of the overwhelming evidence of guilt. Well, wait a minute. That's not for you to decide that it was overwhelming evidence of guilt. He wrote, even if this court did find that the disputed evidence constitutes official acts under the auspices of the Trump decision, which it does not, the defendant's motion is still denied as an introduction of the disputed evidence constitutes harmless error. No mode of proceedings error has taken place. Okay, whatever that fucking means. Merchan further argued that the conviction poses no danger of intrusion on the authority and function of the executive branch. Whatever. So, and further, even if this court were to deem all of the contested evidence, but both preserved and unpreserved, as official conduct falling within the outer perimeter of the defendant's presidential authority, it would still find that the people's use of these acts as evidence of the decidedly personal acts of falsifying business records poses no danger of intrusion on the authority and function of the executive branch, a conclusion amply supported by non-motive related evidence. It goes on and on. But anyway, so he's not, Merchan is how would I call it? How would I describe Merchan? He's a fucking hack. And this whole case is bullshit, and it will never survive the appeals process in the state of New York. But for now, they can continue to call Trump a 34-time convicted felon. It's one case. He's convicted on 34 counts in one case. They drew it out and made it so they could call it 34 felonies strictly for political purposes, and it's obvious. So anyway, FTG, Judge Merchan, Alvin Bragg, all these motherfuckers in that case. Moving on, swastika. Isn't that kind of a weird thing just to randomly blurt out swastika? Anyway, swastika is trending because in my state of Minnesota, apparently some fucknut, and there's plenty of fucknuts in Minnesota, decided that they were going to desecrate a synagogue in Minneapolis. Representative Dean Phillips, who is a congressman, I didn't even know Dean Phillips was Jewish. I had no idea. Apparently, people painted a couple swastikas on a synagogue in Minneapolis, and he says, to whomever did this to my synagogue in Minneapolis this morning, you will be pursued, you will be arrested, and I hope you spend a full 5 years behind bars, albeit in a prison that will seem like the Ritz-Carlton compared to the Nazi concentration camp you deserve. Oh, damn. And some people are saying it might be people doing a false flag. I think anyone to take bets on who it was: a religious Muslim, a Democrat, an illegal jihadi migrant. It could be somebody who's protesting for Palestine even. Who knows? A lot of people say some of the reactions, though, and Gay Patriot says probably a Democratic voter. Somebody, I think it's appalling to see the amount of anti-Semitism in the replies. What's happening to our country? So this is despicable, and I hope the perpetrators are caught. Okay. What is this is an older case. Some students charged with a hate crime for vandalizing a church with a swastika and the word Trump. These guys were, let's just say they were being, what was the word? They were false flagging. Same with this one, Jewish suspect arrested over swastika graffiti in synagogues. Police believe 2 teenagers were behind the paint attacks at Pentecost. So, I mean, there are cases where it is. Oh, no, someone put this picture up there. I think it was Ilhan Omar. Could have been her brother lover, though. I'm just saying. Okay, moving on. The United States Postal Service is trending still for the same shit. A couple people talking about the contract they made with Oshkosh to build 50,000 electric postal service trucks, and they have done what they've built 98 so far. Somebody says breaking Biden spent $3 billion on EV postal service trucks, but there's more to the story. Who was awarded this contract? Oshkosh Defense, a defense company from the state of Wisconsin. In 2022, the United States Postal Service awarded Oshkosh Defense a $2.98 billion with a B dollar contract to produce 50,000 next generation delivery vehicles, those ugly trucks we saw the other day. Oshkosh got $3 billion. Oh, to date, they've only delivered 93 trucks. Oshkosh got $3 billion for 93 trucks, mail trucks. That's $32 million for mail truck. Now, they're supposed to have 50,000 total. I mean, they're supposed to have 3,000 done by this year. By this time, right now, in 2022 till now, they were supposed to have 3,000 done. That was the schedule. And then they were going to, really pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. Who remembers that song? That was kind of a jam. Elon. Now, someone said Elon could have done this with a fraction of a cost, but we all know why he didn't get the contract. Biden awarded the military defense company the contract instead, and they made out like bandits. Well, I wonder if Nancy Pelosi, Miss Broken Hip, I wonder if she invested in that company. I'm just curious. Anyway, where do we think the kickbacks went? That's a good question too. Any Bidens in the house? Any Bidens in the house? Oh my gosh, 0 days without another conspiracy becoming fact. Wait. That's true. All right, anyway, that's why that's trending. I was going to say, speaking of Jews, Jared Moskowitz is trending. No, Jared Moskowitz is a congressman from Florida. And apparently Donald Trump is considering Jared Moskowitz to be the new director of FEMA. He's a Democrat from Florida, but he is previously the director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, a job that won him extensive bipartisan, where is it? Bipartisan praise. I just couldn't find it. But Rebecca Jones is really mad. I don't know if you know who Rebecca Jones is. She's one of these super anti-Ron DeSantis people. So anyway, and Max is a DeSantis guy. He's an ex. 5-time arrestee Rebecca Jones is having a complete meltdown over the news that President-elect Donald Trump is considering Representative Jared Moskowitz to lead FEMA. Jones says that the Biden administration called Director Moskowitz a failure, but Jones is just making that up because she holds a personal grudge against Jared Moskowitz. Hello, Now What Studios, what's up? Jewish mom in the house. Yes, speaking of Jews, my very dear friend from high school, Now What Studios, my friend Wu is here. What's up, Wu? Attempting to present herself as a Democratic insider, Jones audaciously claims that Director Moskowitz asked her to put a good word for him with the Biden administration. This is an obvious lie since Jones, a serial petty criminal who has been unable to find full-time employment for the entirety of the Biden administration, is begging on Twitter for Biden to please make her part of the transition team. It didn't work. Well, that's over. That's long gone. Anyway, that has nothing to do with Moskowitz. I think it's just funny that they're bitching about, or Rebecca Jones is bitching about it. Anyway, and this is not Jared Moskowitz. Jared Moskowitz would be a great in the Trump administration, though. Isn't that Kushner? Jared Kushner? Anyway, here it is. Just in. Top contender to be Trump's FEMA director is Congressman Jared Moskowitz, Democrat from Florida, according to CNN. Moskowitz directed the Florida Division of Emergency Management under Governor Ron DeSantis from 2019 to 2021. He's also one of the congressmen who likes the idea of DOGE, the department, what is it called? The Department of Governmental Efficiency? Something like that? Yeah, that Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy thing. Now, there is a problem, though. Moskowitz, look, okay, let me back up. Moskowitz apparently did a fine job as the Florida version of the director of FEMA. And he got a lot of bipartisan praise. Ron DeSantis likes him as far as that role. Other Floridians like him as that role. As a congressman, though, he's kind of an asshole. But that's all I have to say about that. Now, Laura Loomer is very upset about this, who says, I am deeply disturbed to learn that Democrat Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz is being considered as a top contender to be President Trump's FEMA director. This will only help Democrats get a Democrat governor in Florida in 2026, as Moskowitz said he wants. Now, I don't understand how how those two go together, because DeSantis is leaving. Let's see. Moskowitz also suggested that Trump was Hitler for having dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago. Well, he didn't plan having dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago. Kanye just kind of brought him along. He blamed Donald Trump for what Moskowitz says is a rapid increase in anti-Semitic content on X. No, Trump's wasn't even on X. Anyway, earlier this year, Moskowitz also implied that President Trump was a pedophile who pals around with Jeffrey Epstein when the Republicans were having a hearing on Hunter Biden's laptop. He is also heavily backed by AIPAC, and he fully supports Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I don't care. Look, I'm not a fan of Moskowitz, the politician. But if Moskowitz, the director of emergency management type shit, is good and efficient at what he does, I don't give a fuck about his politics. Maybe he'll be a little, better than the current one. I don't care. Clearly, Floridians thought he was good at that job, so there it is. All right, I got to go through this a little faster. I got to get to the main topic. Oh, another Congress critter who's trending is Jasmine Crockett. Now, I haven't followed this story at all. I just saw a snippet of it, so if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, you can let me know. Make Laura Loomer sad again. Well, we don't want to make her sad. We just want her to go away. Girl, don't go away, man. Just go away. That's all I could say about Laura Loomer. She's a weirdo, and I don't know how she got so deep into Trump's inner circle. Good morning, Midnight in Exile. I feel bad for Loomer. She is absolutely batshit insane, but she has been loyal to MAGA. Yeah, she's very loyal to Donald Trump, but she's problem. She's a problem. Anyway. So Jasmine Crockett is trending because apparently, well, first of all, she went on MSNBC and accused Daniel Penny of a modern-day lynching. Penny was recently exonerated by a unanimous jury in New York City. But that isn't even the one that she was trending for. She was trending because, what did she say about Hispanic? Oh, here it is. Here, let's just do the New York Post article on this. Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett, she's a crock of it. No, that'll be your nickname, Jasmine Crocovit. Suggests slave mentality behind Hispanic Trump voters and insists Harris ran a flawless campaign. Flawless. except for the $20 million they're in debt. Representative Jasmine Crockett accused many Hispanic voters of having a slave mentality for supporting President-elect Donald Trump. Quote, "This is my distilled society." I'm not going to do a Maxine Waters voice for Jasmine Crockett. She doesn't talk like Maxine Waters. She's far more ghetto. Anyway, this is my distilled summary. But she's very bright. I'm not saying she's dumb. She just talks ghetto, but she is a very smart woman. I'm not going to deny her that. But she said, "This is my distilled summary of what happens within the Latino community." Oh, because you're a big part of the Latino community. She said, "I've not run into that with the Asian community. I've not run into that with the African community. I've not run into that with the Caribbean community. I've only run into it with Hispanics. When they think of illegals, they think of, maybe people that came out of the cartels and that kind of like the criminal type book or whatever. It's insane. It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about the kind of like slave mentality and they hate that some slaves would have for themselves," she continued. "It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. It is wild to me when I hear how anti-immigrant they are as immigrants. Many of them, I am talking about people that literally just got here and can barely vote, that they're having this kind of attitude." Crockett added that despite black voters still largely voting in favor of Vice President Kamala Harris during the election, there was some flaking by black men that she attributed to misogyny. Of course. They're not handling this loss very well. And remember, Donald Trump improved his vote totals in every demographic except white people. Compared to the last time he ran and compared to Mitt Romney, the last Republican that lost. He's improved his vote counts in every demographic except white people. So I would attribute that to some of that's what you call a red wave. Now, is it a big wave? Who knows? If it is big, it's a wave. If it's red, if it's gray, I don't care. It worked out for Donald Trump. Suck my rump. Oh my God. I was going to sniff on my chair. Yeah. Anyway, she's stupid. Josh Hawley is trending. Josh Hawley has begun the tax salvo on the new Congress. Scoop. Hawley is making a big opening bid in the 2025 tax battle, calling for the child tax credit to increase from a max of $2,000 to $5,000 per child. After a child is born, Hawley also wants to let parents claim a credit for the year of pregnancy. So this is from Axios. Let's see. Why it matters. Such a plan would cost. Now, oh my God. So remember when Kamala Harris was running for president? Okay, it was not that long ago. You know that because we don't even have a new president yet, not officially, but when she was talking about her tax plan for $6,000 tax credit for new parents. And also a plan for $25,000 assistance in home buying assistance for people who are non-legacy home buyers, right? And I never once heard anyone talk about, oh, that's going to cost a lot of money. This is whatever. The first line in this Axios article, after they saying that he wants to increase the maximum child tax credit from $2,000 to $5,000 per kid, the very next line, why it matters. Hello, select boy. Yeah. Why it matters. Such a plan would cost $2 trillion to $3 trillion over 10 years. Okay. No. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Taxing somebody less, that doesn't cost you anything. The only thing that cost the United States government are the things you buy, the things you pay for. Not taking money from somebody else is not an expense. But that's how they like to put it whenever a Republican proposes something like this. If it was Kamala Harris's plan, they would say, why does it matter? It would put more money into families' pockets. It would be so helpful to the middle class. It'd be like a middle class tax cut. But if it's a Republican, this is going to cost $2 to $3 trillion. So someone here says, and then they continue, that complicates the path for incoming Senate Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson, who have thin margins to extend President-elect Trump's signature tax bill. After a child is born, Holly is proposing to let parents claim a credit for the tax year of the pregnancy. Yeah, no shit. You could already do that. At least that's how it used to work. Did they change something? Hello, Darren Root. 4-year presidential term, 10-year plan. Holly's proposal speaks to the GOP's desire to adopt pro-family policies and outflank Democrats on anti-poverty programs. I'm sorry. If you can claim your child as a tax break, if that child is born at 11:59 on December 31st, you can claim that tax break for that year. It doesn't matter. It's always based on the year the child is born. So I'm not sure what that means when he says to claim the credit for the tax year of the pregnancy. Well, unless let's say a kid is born on January 1st. He's proposing that you can claim the prior year also. That's what it meant. Okay, I get it now. Anyway, what he's saying, these are people, working class people with families who elected Donald Trump, and we need to deliver real and meaningful tax relief to them, Holly told Axios in an interview about his plan. Holly has talked with Trump about and the president-elect's team about the proposal and took Vice President-elect J.D. Vance's lead on the specific $5,000 number, the senator told Axios. Holly wants to apply the tax credit to payroll taxes, allowing even Americans who do not make enough to pay income taxes a bigger refunds. Now, that's tough because payroll taxes, that's what goes to Social Security, isn't it? The plan would also allow families to receive tax credits in regular installments throughout the year rather than as a lump sum during the tax season. It would also do away with the $2,500 income minimum for families to begin accessing the credit while still requiring employment. Zoom in, Republicans have been divided over efforts to expand the child tax credit, while Democrats have been largely supportive. Holly was one of just 3 Senate Republicans who voted this year for a bipartisan tax package that included an expanded child tax credit, and it failed. The other hot GOP tax fight is whether Republicans raise or eliminate the $10,000 cap on state and local tax deductions, SALT, they put in place in 2017. Trump has indicated he's in favor of eliminating the cap. So that's interesting. So that's the first salvo in the upcoming tax battles in the United States Senate and House of Representatives. Madison, Wisconsin's trending. Unfortunately, there was a school shooting there, and so people are talking about that, and this person actually tied it to the Brian Thompson thing. The murder of Brian Thompson was evil. The murder at that school in Madison, Wisconsin was evil. Your opinion on murder should be fixed upon and not subject to political whims. Hard for some of you hypocrites. Oh, snap. Oh, Blair White, the shooting in Madison was an anti-Christian hate crime, and you need to refer to it as such. Man. So, let's see. The Madison shooter, Natalie Rupno, is a tragic example of the perils of nihilism, hopelessness, and how a consistent diet of both can lead to personal and social ruin. Her manifesto expresses a hatred for humanity, herself, and her community. When people lack intellectual nourishment, especially at such a young age, they can easily find it in the worst places, either through impulse or unwise thinking. We must do better in talking about the virtues of life and living rather than constantly doomsdaying at every walking moment. Yeah, we get a lot of that during political seasons, don't we? You get a lot of doomsday shit. That's our friend Christian Watson. He's been on the show here. Very, very smart dude. Or stop promoting the glory of victimhood, mental illness, transgenderism, and oppression. To which he replies, rejecting nihilism is the only holistic path to victory over civilizational behavior born of hopelessness. Politics is secondary to this issue. So anyway, which is interesting about this case, similar to the the shooting in Nashville, they at first refused to release the info of the shooter. Now, we weren't sure why, but you get an example of this in the Daily Wire. The Madison, Wisconsin Police Department is waiting to release any identifying information about the shooter who killed 2 people and wounded several others at Abundant Life Christian School on Monday morning. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said in a press conference on Monday that afternoon that authorities identified the shooter as a teenage student who attended the school. But he added, at this time, we are not releasing the age or gender of the student or anything other than identifying remarks of identifying remarks of the student. So there was a speculation that this might be a third high-profile transgender school shooting, but it turned out not to be. As difficult as today is, that is still someone's child that's gone. That's still someone that has to deal with what happened today. So we just want to ensure as much cooperation as we can. What I will tell you, as soon as we are done with this investigation, what we uncover is that will not compromise the safety of anyone involved or compromise the confidentiality of any of these children that are involved. We will tell you. I just ask for patience. Shortly after the press conference, a law enforcement official briefed on the shooting, told CNN that the shooter was female. Okay, so just a shitty situation. And obviously it's going to bring out all the gun control people. So now then today they have identified the shooter, which I don't think it's important that we know the shooter's name. At least if they get background and try to figure out what happened, apparently the shooter had a manifesto. Her boyfriend, actually something about that. Yeah, we knew Luigi's life story 8 hours after the arrest. Yeah, that's true. And that's, go figure. I think there might be a combination of 1, minor, 2, I don't know, figuring out how they're going to deal with their family. I think they raided the family's home too. There was someone who lives near them, who happens to be on X, was talking about that. Let's see. The teenage student and teacher were pronounced. Okay. Police said this person, a 15-year-old student at the K-12 Abundant Life Christian School, brought a handgun to campus and opened fire around 11 a.m. inside a classroom during study hall. Now, that's interesting because I just saw someone talking about banning AR-15s again, saying that this shooter was with an AR-15. No, it was a handgun. The teenage student and teacher were pronounced dead at the scene, while another teacher and 5 more students were wounded. 2 of the students are in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said Monday night. Then Rupnow sustained a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was pronounced dead on the way to the hospital. An alleged manifesto espousing angry, hateful views is circulating online that some social media users claim belong to Rupnow, but Barnes said police have not been able to confirm that document. We haven't been able to verify that it's authentic, and we're certainly aware that it's been posted, he said, adding his department is working with the FBI to investigate the writings. SWAT teams raided Rupnow's family home on Monday night, bursting through the front door, conducting a thorough search inside. And the home is about 8 miles from the school, which is in the state capital of Madison. I guess that's for people who don't know where Madison, Wisconsin is. And the K-12 school has little more than 400 students. The assailant opened fire inside a classroom during a study hall filled with students from different grades. The gunfire erupted. The second grader in a nearby classroom called 911 for help, and police were on the scene in about 3 minutes, according to Barnes. Investigators are still working to determine the motive and have been interviewing the school's shooter's father. At this point, he said there's no reason to believe her parents committed a crime. Barnes questioned how Rumpno was able to get her hands on the gun leading up to the deadly shooting. Every child, every person in that building is a victim. Okay, that doesn't answer the question. So anyway, there you go. That's the basics. The articles here, there's a couple articles on it if you want to get caught up on that. All right, moving on. Oh, and by the way, of course, it has reignited a gun control debate. In fact, let's see. President Biden responded by calling for gun control measures, including universal background checks and a ban on assault weapons. Well, this wasn't look, let me just talk about this stupid moniker, assault weapons. Isn't every weapon an assault weapon? Any form of pistol, gun, knife, bullwhip, skateboard, anything that's a weapon, machetes, broadswords, fencing swords. Every weapon is an assault weapon. That's what weapons are. They're for assaulting people. I've never liked that term. But anyway, so let's see. Pretty ballsy after literally just pardoning his own son for gun crimes. Oh my God. That's Donald Trump Jr. Breaking. President Biden released a statement calling for gun control after Wisconsin school shooting. Congress must pass common sense gun safety laws. Can you elaborate? Can you elaborate, Joe? Congress must pass common sense gun laws, universal background checks, a national red flag law. Would a red flag law would have stopped this? A national red flag law? Get the fuck out of here. No. A ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. Not involved in this shooting. It's funny, too, that, I was watching my friend of mine, not a friend, just someone I watch on YouTube who's talks about all of the mass shootings that happen in neighborhoods of color. Let's just put it that way. That you just never hear about. It's not until there's a school shooting or something when maybe one or two people get killed, and it's usually the less melanated types. Do they then go on this big rage about gun control when there's shootings in the hood every day? It's like that might be. I'm always skeptical about white supremacy, but that might be a form of white supremacy if you ask me. You only care about gun crimes when it's some white kids in a white school and a Christian school. And then you want to start banning guns. Anyway, I'm just spitballing here. So here it is for immediate release. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to post it as a separate link if you want to read what President Biden has to say, or excuse me, what his staffers have to say, because President Biden isn't really all there. You can read the actual statement from Joseph Rahim Biden's staff for immediate release. Whatever. All right, let's get it. Oh, by the way, KMFDM is trending related to this because apparently the shooter is being shown in this shirt, in this picture, this KMFDM shirt. And apparently this is a band from Germany that apparently this is the third time that a school shooter has been seen wearing this shirt, or at least a shirt about this band. And this says, well, LOL, nobody under 35 knows who KMFDM is. Well, apparently their shirts are popular. KMFDM can't catch a break. Let me see here. Where is it? Can school shooters stop wearing KMFDM shirts, please? I don't want us to be seen as the kid who's going to shoot up a school just because I like German industrial rock. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this seems to be the shirt of choice for school shooters. All right, let's get into this electoral college thing real quick. So there's this picture here of Dick Durbin I put in the thumbnail. He's introduced an amendment to abolish the undemocratic Electoral College. Now let me see this. Yeah, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, along with Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii and Peter Welch from Vermont, have introduced a constitutional amendment that would abolish the Electoral College system of voting. The Electoral College was established by the U.S. Constitution by the country's founding fathers as a compromise between the election of a president by a vote of Congress and the election of a president by a popular vote. The Electoral College consists of 538 electors representing all 50 states. A majority of 270 votes is required, blah, 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 blah. We know how it works, okay? Now, a lot of Democrats in particular love this idea because they are more often likely to win a popular vote in an election, as we've seen in several elections in the past. Although this year, a popular vote went Donald Trump, but I still don't care about the popular vote. And it's so anyway, they would have to amend the Constitution, which apparently they are doing. Here's the article. Hawaii and Vermont Democratic senators introduce a bill to disempower their own states. Now, this is a good article. Abolish the Electoral College and my own state's relevance. Senators from small states that no one would otherwise care about calling for eliminating the Electoral College are disempowering the people who elected them and putting their party ahead of their states. Vermont has a population of 647,000. Hawaii has a population of about 1.4 million. Hawaii has 2 House members. Vermont has 1. But here are Senator Brian Schatz from Hawaii and Senator Peter Welch from Vermont, having proposed a constitutional amendment that is going nowhere, pushing for the abolition of the Electoral College because they really want to make their states even more irrelevant than they are now. But here's a little thought experiment. Schatz and Welch want only the popular vote to elect presidents, but they'd like states, even small ones, to still retain 2 senators, no matter how small they are. They want state-based representation when it favors them and purely national system where it doesn't. Quote, in an election, the person who gets the most votes should win. It's that simple, Schatz said. No one's vote should count for more based on where they live. The Electoral College is outdated and undemocratic. It's time to end it. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of this article. I'm going to go on a short diatribe about the Electoral College after I get this super chat from Avocados Diabli. Thank you, sir, for sponsoring the show. Who says, if you really want to get Dems on board with the Electoral College, it's really quite simple. Just start calling it affirmative action in voting. They love that shit. Yes, they do. Thank you, Avocados Diablo, for your almost daily wisdom. Well, no, there's daily wisdom, just this time you paid for it. Okay, so here's my problem with this. This is it. I think there's a much better solution than dumping the Electoral College. And that solution would be reduce the power of the federal government. Reduce the power of the federal government. Because that's all they care about here. Right now they think, oh my gosh, the president is by the Electoral College, and that's not fair. It's not democracy. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's because it's not supposed to be a democracy. We're not supposed to have a popular vote for the president. We are a confederation of 50 democratic states. Okay? We are a confederation of 50 states. The federal government's only supposed to do the things that are in the interest of all the states, not the people. Okay? All the stuff that our federal government does that it's not supposed to be doing, that has nothing to do with what the Constitution, because the states should be doing their own shit on their own. Reduce, reduct. The stuff that we need to negotiate as the 50 states, like international commerce or interstate commerce, or even the interstate highway system probably isn't necessarily constitutional, but they maintain it as a large way to move commerce in the United States. But honestly, there are so many things that the federal government do. Like, let's take the Department of Education, for example. Talk about a fucking redundant department in the United States government. When every state has their own Department of Education, your education is controlled locally, except for now you get this Department of Education from down on high that forces different states to get to do certain things so they can get money from the federal government. Fuck that. Let's get rid of that shit. Let's reduce the power of the federal government. Let states do what they do, and you can use the courts if there's something they do that's a little fucked up. But reduce the power of the federal government, and then you don't have to worry about don't have to be so upset about who wins the presidency through the Electoral College. I believe that every state should only have one vote for the president of the United States. You have Congress and the House of Representatives to be a people's representatives, and you have the Senate to balance out the House of Representatives. But the president, no. Every state gets one vote. You vote in your state who you want to cast your state's vote for, and let's do that instead. Yeah, I'd be happy to get rid of the Electoral College. But no, we don't need to have the president be by the popular vote. Because since the president is the president of the Confederation of States, he needs to represent all the states in a manner that makes sense for everybody. Not to just worry, because we don't need to have, because those same people who want to get rid of the Electoral College, well, maybe not these senators, but the people who really want to get rid of the Electoral College also want to get rid of the United States Senate. They think it's wrong that each state should have 2 senators. Why? Because they want absolute power through the tyranny of democracy. And when I say tyranny of democracy, I mean, the Ben Franklin version of 2 wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. I don't want that. Let's reduce the power of the presidency, a notch, because right now the president is the executive branch. The president is the one that has all these agencies that are kind of acting like they're part of like they're the legislative branch. No. Let's reduce all of these agencies that are under the executive branch, and let's do it the right way and have the Congress deal with those. And also let's limit what they do. Let the states do the things that the states are supposed to do. I am not in favor of this whole getting rid of the Electoral College thing. Just dumb. Let's see here. Greenfield didn't write a whole lot more. Real quick. Thank you, Tyre Alexander, dropping a $2.30 in the tip jar. Appreciate you. Who says, Tyre Alexander says, it says, Tyre of Fire and Flames says, these commie, okay, hang on. Disclosure. The views reviewed in the super chats of this show do not necessarily reflect the views of the host or of YouTube and the rest of the, Google, ABC, or whatever they're called, Alphabet, whatever the fuck that shit's called. They are the views of the person who sent the super chat. Verbatim, Tyre of Fire and Flame says, these commie cunts are fucking stupidity. This is literally lopping off your foot to win a race. Yes, you can throw your foot across the finish line and win today, but you will never run again. These shits need to be lobotomized via rusty plastic spork. Yes, that's beautiful, Ty. That brings a tear to my eye. I got to be honest. That brings a tear to my eye. That's special. All right. Running out of time here. Fuck these guys who want to get rid of the Electoral College. So let's see. There's some articles here. Sharp did. Oh, The Reverend Al Sharpton says Trump advance honoring Daniel Penny is insulting, and they see us black people as animals. MSNBC Al Sharpton said Monday on the readout that President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance inviting Marine veteran Daniel Penny to their box at the Army-Navy football game was insulting and showed the administration views black people as animals. Now, I didn't think necessarily that was a good look myself, and not because I think Penny is guilty. I think the jury got the verdict right. I don't think I'm hesitant to make celebrities out of people who do this, and it clearly it sends a message to the people who are upset about that whole thing, that you don't give a fuck about them. Now, do I care if I give a fuck about them or whatever? Not necessarily, but I question the choice of bringing Daniel Penny to the Army-Navy game with President Trump, President-elect Trump, Vice President-elect Trump, the whole bunch of cabinet people, whatever. But I get it. They want to honor the guy and say, hey, you know what? We got your back. But but Al Sharpton can also fuck right off, because look, no, it doesn't show that. It's just they're trying to they're trying to honor the guy who acted heroically to save people on a train. But I just, it's there's some nuance to that. Let's put it that way. Thank you, Avocados Diablo says, I may be wrong, but I think up till now we have had 16 Democratic presidents and 19 Republican presidents, with all the rest being defunct parties. So seems to me it is about as fair middle down the road and does not favor as a side as we can get. Yeah, I agree. I mean, but see, the Democrats think that's not fair, because they believe that they are the majority, and they believe that they are right, and they believe that, you know, you've had some Republican presidents that didn't win the popular vote. Oh no! And so we didn't get to be the popular vote. No, I think you represent the country the best by having even the small states that have power in that, because it's a federation of states, and you need to have the interest of all the states be of concern to the person in the White House, especially the person in the White House, because they're breaking they're breaking the ties in a way with the vice president on things that go 50-50 in the Senate. So it just forces, I think I know they say, oh, well, then they only have to focus on these many swing states. Well, no, not necessarily. If it was just the popular vote, then they would just swing on the large population centers with no concern for the smaller states that have maybe more rural populations. So, and I think you need that balance. So there you go. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. There's other articles in National Pulse. CNN analyst with ties to anti-Trump Midas touch Jack Smith and Diddy to defend Luigi Mangione. It's just talking about his lawyer. I don't care that much. By the way, Joe Biden did an interview with Midas touch, those jag-off lefty fuckwads. In Hollywood and Toto, Michael Moore will not condemn the United Healthcare CEO killing. Michael Mangione is accused, or turns out Luigi Mangione is a Michael Moore fan. Mangione accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in cold blood early this month. Mangione had a manifesto in his possession when police arrested him following the tip generated at a Pennsylvania McDonald's restaurant. The alleged killer raged against America's healthcare system, praising Moore for criticizing the for-profit system in his 2007 movie Sicko. Now Moore is responding to a fan who may spend the rest of his days behind bars. The far-left filmmaker refused to condemn those who rage against America's healthcare system in a lengthy Substack op-ed on the subject. He wants more rage, more anger, and more media coverage of both. He also danced around the one question. He says he's been repeatedly asked by various media outlets since the CEO's death, do you condemn Thompson's murder? It's one thing missing in Moore's pro-universal healthcare manifesto. I don't think he answered the question. Let's just put it that way. Piece of shit. No, you have to condemn murder no matter if it agrees with your political or social views. I don't give a shit. Is this another Biden? No, it's not. I don't know why they had this one. There's a couple more articles. This is about a guy, California felon Markham David Bond, who was granted compassionate release after 26 years behind bars, has been sent back to prison for the very same crime. The convicted bank robber freed early from federal prison on a compassionate release program is heading back to the slammer for the same crime for which he was originally sent away. Mark David Bond was found guilty in a federal jury in Los Angeles on Thursday on one count of interference with commerce by robbery, one count of using a firearm during a crime of violence, and one count of being a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. So he robbed a Brinks carrier. This is a guy who was in jail for bank robbery. They get him out on a compassionate release, and he robs a Brinks truck and going right back to jail. That's beautiful. In Breitbart, Central American officials complain that they don't have the capacity to take back illegals deported by Trump. Capacity? Wait a minute. You should have lots of extra room in those countries where those people left. How can you not have the capacity? Officials in Central America are already complaining that they do not have the capacity to accept potentially hundreds of thousands of their nationals back for the United States when President-elect Trump carries out his historic deportation program. Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, which have the largest number of people living illegally in the United States after Mexico, could be among the first and most heavily impacted by mass deportations, according to Jason Hauser, former Immigration and Customs Enforcement staff in the Biden administration. We don't have the capacity to take back so many people. Well, how you got room where they left? Just put them back where they were. Anyway, you can read that on your own. And then legal insurrection. Veteran journalist dismantles liberal case against Trump's deportation plans. This is a good article. But I don't have time to get into it. So it'll be in the links. And then finally, in the New York Post, Joe Biden has set a dangerous new precedent with his preemptive pardons. This is a op-ed by Jonathan Turley, the Democrat lawyer who likes to agree with Republicans a lot. So you can read that. There's some good details. I might go through that one tomorrow because that's a good one. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for today. Let me get these links in the chat while I'm running my yap. And I hope you have a lovely day. Did you learn anything today? I don't know. What's today? Tuesday? So it's not Q&A. I got to figure out some kind of reward for the audience when we reach our tip goals. I got to figure that out. Like Sinatra used to play the song Horsecock. It's not my thing, and I don't want to use something used. That's kind of weird. But I was thinking, I could just determine Friday Q&As on that, but we already do Friday Q&As. But I also want to have a guest day. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. We'll figure out something to do. But anyway, here come the links from the show today. If you are looking for any of these articles or have something that you want to do with them, today's links. Bing, bang, boom. That's it. They're there. They'll also be in the description. I got to go. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Love you. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.